the Vancouver Canucks. They were first in the Pacific last year. They were 13th in Corsi for percentage, 7th in expected goals for percentage, and 7th in scoring chances for percentage at even strength. Their 5v5 save percentage was killer, 4th in the league at 916, and their shooting percentage first in the league at 11.49% at even strength. That is an insane even strength save or shooting percentage. That is going to come back down. They had the highest PDO in the league, which is a combined number of when you combine the save percentage and shooting percentage and kind of use that as a luck metric. They had the highest in the league. So that typically means that they're going to come back down to earth a little bit. I factor that into my projections. I was the lowest on Vancouver Canucks out of the three of us that did projections at Apples and Genos. But I mean, I'm still relatively high on them. And their power play percentage was 22.6%. That was 11th in the league. They had a really, really solid power play last year. And it could honestly improve this year. Their key departures, Elias Lindholm, Nikita Zadorov, both of their big mid-season trades, mid-season acquisitions last year, that is. And then Casey DeSmith also went out the door. He was their backup last year. With the emergence of Arturs Shilovs, I don't think that he was definitely expendable. And then their key additions, they brought in Jake DeBrusk, signed him to a huge contract. Daniel Sprong, they brought him in for really cheap, and Danton Heinen as well. And those are guys that are going to just improve the forward depth on this team. And in goal, we've got Thatcher Demko. He had 51 starts last year with a 924 even strength save percentage. And it's been said that he's hurt and he may not start the season with the team. So that is a little bit concerning. Another player that's hurt in goal for Vancouver is Arturs Shilovs. He had 4 starts last year with an 894 even strength save percentage. That was in the regular season. He did excel in the playoffs and he kind of carried them. Didn't carry them, but he played exceptionally well in the playoffs for them. And they took Edmonton right to the bitter end, and in the second round, like it could have been them in the conference finals very easily. Yuri Patera is a guy that could get some run here at the start of the year if both of those guys are hurt. He had 5 starts in Vegas last year with a 916 even strength save percentage, so he has played limited time over the last couple of years in the NHL, but he has performed pretty well. And Vancouver is a pretty decent environment in front of them. So I do think that they're probably going to be okay, but I don't know. I do have some concerns about their goaltending situation. You gotta hope that Thatcher Demko comes back sooner rather than later. And obviously, when he does, he'll be the volume starter. But until then, it's really up in the air. So Yuri Patera could be a big 0G guy for the first month of the season if Demko and Shilovs aren't able to go right out of the gate. For schedule quirks, they've got 10 back-to-backs. That's tied for 29th in the league. They have 35 off nights, which is 4th. So tons of off nights for the Canucks. That is going to be extremely useful for you. Their weeks 22 to 24 playoff schedule, they have 10 games with 6 off nights. And then from weeks 23 to 25, 12 games with 8 off nights. That's a lot of off nights. So that's an exceptional. That's one of the best schedules from weeks 23 to 25. From weeks 22 to 24, 10 games and 6 off nights. That's one of the better schedules as well. So your Vancouver Canucks, in terms of the scheduling quirks, it's really interesting. The off nights throughout the season, along with the nice playoff schedules, those are guys that you're going to want to target, I think, and maybe reach a little bit for. And I really mean a little bit. Again, I've said this on a few shows. It's definitely, the scheduling quirks are definitely worth looking at, but don't overthink it. The power play my power play projection for the Canucks, I mean, it's mostly intact from last year. JT Miller, Brock Besser, Elias Pettersson, Quinn Hughes, those are locks. And Jake DeBrusk seems to be the guy that is probably going to slot in as the fourth forward here. I think he's going to have a nice little breakout this year. I'm very excited for Jake DeBrusk on the Canucks. My forward projections, I've got JT Miller for 30 goals, 59 assists, 89 points, 36 power play points, and 200 hits. He is a hit monster. Brock Besser, I've got him for 33 goals, 34 assists, 67 points. Elias Pettersson, 36 goals, 46 assists, 82 points, 104 hits, 74 blocks. An underrated category filler in Elias Pettersson. Jake DeBrusk, I have him for 30 goals, 36 assists, 66 points, and 104 hits. That's a major breakout for Jake DeBrusk. Daniel Sprong, I've got him for 24 goals, 19 assists, 43 points. Dakota Joshua is worth mentioning as well because I have him for 14 goals, 22 assists, 36 points, but 276 hits, just a little bit less than the popsicle Martin Pospisil. So that's a guy that you should be taking a hard look at late in your Bangers Cats drafts. Yeah, I mean, JT Miller, a lot of people are gonna think that the points number is a little bit low on him. I do think that he was his some of his percentages and his luck metrics were a little bit high last year, as everyone's were with this team. Brock Besser's the same way. But I do have JT Miller dialed back quite a bit on offense. I was encouraged to hear that Dom Lucian had him at 87 points, and because that's kind of right in the same realm. So I do feel like I got some affirmation there, and I'm not completely off base with that projection. Elias Pettersson, I also have him for a little lower than people probably think. Yeah, I mean, I'm not confident that he's going to play full time with Jake DeBrusk. Like it's very possible that DeBrusk could slot in on the top line with Miller and Besser. I don't think that'll be the case, but there is still some unknowns there with Elias Pettersson. He's had a weird, tumultuous last few seasons. It's been really up and down. So you gotta hope that he smashes through that. And I'm definitely open to him completely destroying that points number. But that's where I have him at here in my projections. Jake DeBrusk, I think he's gonna be prioritized a lot more than he was in Boston. I think he's gonna have a pretty safe power play position, and I'm very excited about DeBrusk this year. On defense, Quinn Hughes, I've got him for 13 goals, 68 assists, 81 points, 35 power play points. Philip Hronik, I've got him for 7 goals, 36 assists, 43 points, and 105 hits. Hronik's a guy that's going to produce very well at 5v5. I'm excited for him as an option near the bottom of your lineup. And then Quinn Hughes, that's a guy that I'm still high on him, obviously, but not as high as most people are. In Yahoo leagues, he's going at 18.5. I just am not comfortable taking Quinn Hughes that early, especially not in a Yahoo draft that's a Bangers Cats. He's just doesn't bring enough value for me. Like his peripherals are brutal. He just doesn't hit. He doesn't block. So. But yeah, the points upside is immense for Quinn Hughes, absolutely, as we saw this past year. And then the top 3 targets, I've got Jake DeBrusk. I mentioned him before. Let's look at his ADPs. In Yahoo, he's going at 141.9. I'm very comfortable taking him there, and would probably take him quite a bit earlier than that. And his Apples and Gitos ADP is 116.6. That feels good as well for Jake DeBrusk. I'm pretty excited about this guy. JT Miller, I have him as a target as well. His Apples and Ginos ADP is 19.7, and that's right where I would be comfortable taking him. I mean, it's hard. A lot of these ADPs, I do think that a lot of these guys are getting overvalued. So in terms of top 3 targets, I picked JT Miller and Elias Pettersson because I'm highest on those 2 guys in general. But I do think their ADPs are reasonable. I actually think in Yahoo, JT Miller's ADP is 12.6. I think that's too high. So I wouldn't be taking him there. Absolutely not. Like I had I had the turn in Cupful. I think I mentioned this on the last podcast, but my first two picks at 14 and 15 were Artemi Panarin and Philip Forsberg, and I would take both of those guys over JT Miller. So I think that 12.6 is a little bit high, but I'm still interested in Miller. I'm still interested. And Elias Pettersson, same thing. I'm interested in him. But Jake DeBrusk, this really should be a top one target. Let's be honest. Jake DeBrusk, I am all in on this guy. Absolutely.